What's going on, guys? Wrestling Flash here with all the latest and hottest WWE news and rumors. First, let's jump into the best and worst of this week's episode of Raw. The final episode of WWE Raw before SummerSlam 2021 was pretty much an alright show. If you had to separate the good from the bad, the wheat from the chaff, it was around 50-50. Let's be honest here. With John Cena vs Roman Reigns and Edge vs Seth Rollins, the SmackDown side of things for SummerSlam is a lot more exciting than what WWE Raw has to offer fans. That said, it's not all doom and gloom from the Red brand either. So, here's what WWE Raw did right and what they did wrong. As always, if you feel differently, you can sound off in the comments. Be sure to let us know your thoughts and views in the comments section below. Number 3, best and worst. WWE Raw course corrects the Karrion Kross storyline at last. The world was outraged when Karrion Kross lost to Jeff Hardy during his WWE Raw debut. Since then he has been booked right, has gone from strength to strength, and genuinely seems to be moving up the ladder. It's unlikely that he will be inserted into a title picture soon because all of the male champions on WWE Raw, be it Bobby Lashley, Sheamus, AJ Styles, or Omos, are all heels. This could change at SummerSlam, but it makes sense to build him up one step at a time. He could enter into a feud with a formidable WWE Raw babyface such as Ricochet or even Drew McIntyre. If McIntyre puts him over, then his career is made. That said, the practice of 50-50 booking where there is no trajectory for any of the participants needs to stop. This is a big problem on WWE Raw. It's one of the reasons why there are so few superstars today. Number 2, best. The WWE Raw Tag Team Championship picture actually feels important. Who would have thought that the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship picture would be the most fun storyline heading into SummerSlam this year? There is a narrative that Vince McMahon does not care about tag teams. While that may indeed be true, when 4 stars are involved in a tag team match, the creative team gives it their all. For Riddle to earn Randy Orton's respect in the manner that he did was gripping, engaging, and entertaining. Number 2, worst. Nikki ASH lost her match clean. The WWE Raw Women's Championship picture does not feel nearly as important as all the other storylines on the SummerSlam card. And this is because WWE Raw Women's Champion, Nikki ASH, has been booked in a dreadful manner. If Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair can both beat her clean shortly after she becomes champion, why should anyone be invested in her? Nikki's booking has really been ash-toundingly bad. Also, was Nia Jax the best surprise partner WWE Creative could get? Number 1, best. The promos for Elias. WWE Raw superstar Elias is being repackaged and we're all for it. Even though the company receives a lot of flack for the way it books its top superstars, you cannot doubt the quality of WWE's video packages. They are top-notch, and one has to wonder what the next incarnation of the WWE Raw superstar will look like. Number 1, worst. WWE Raw ends with the most atrocious-looking spear ever. Goldberg is a beast of a human being who is in prime physical condition even today. But the spear that he hit at the end of WWE Raw wasn't good at all, and it just diminished a lot of the mystique he is known for. One has to dread the jackhammer he is likely to hit at SummerSlam, because there's a chance that Bobby Lashley could land on his head. Let's hope that he was just rusty during the final WWE Raw segment, and he'll be in prime shape during the pay-per-view. How excited are you for SummerSlam this weekend? Did WWE Raw get you more hyped for the upcoming show? WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg has revealed that he wants to have a match against Universal Champion Roman Reigns. The 2 stars were supposed to clash at WrestleMania 36 for the title, but the Tribal Chief was removed from the match and replaced by Braun Strowman after he took some time off due to the COVID-19 pandemic. During a recent interview with DAZN, Goldberg named Roman Reigns as one of the superstars he would like to face in WWE next. Obviously, I want Roman bad, said Goldberg. I want a piece of somebody from Georgia Tech. Like, I can taste it. The comparisons, the football background, I truly believe that's a match that needs to happen. Am I clamoring for it? Am I begging for it? Am I holding my breath for it? No, I do what my job asks me to do. I do what my boss asks me to do to the best of my ability, and then I ask for them to point me in the next direction. Goldberg is scheduled to challenge the almighty Bobby Lashley for the prestigious WWE Championship at the biggest party of the summer. This will be the first time that the 2 stars will square off inside the squared circle. The former Universal Champion revealed what it means for him to compete at WWE SummerSlam in front of over 40,000 spectators. Personally and professionally, I'm pretty proud of myself that I'm still relevant, that I'm still a source that my employer and the fans believe that I'm still able to be somebody that matters, said Goldberg. I will back that up, and I will reinforce that thought process with the night of the 21st at Allegiant Stadium against Bobby Lashley. He also sent a message to his SummerSlam opponent. All I can say to Bobby is, you better be ready, kid, because this is a culmination of a lot of years and a lot of things that have run through my head, and that are running through my body, and I just hope he's ready, Goldberg added. Goldberg vs Bobby Lashley will undoubtedly be a hard-hitting affair, and only one of them will leave as the WWE champion. WWE legend and Hall of Famer Mick Foley has opened up about his friendship with Raw superstar and former women's champion, Becky Lynch. In his recent interaction at Steel City Con, Foley was asked who he is close to in the current WWE locker room. The hardcore legend stated that Lynch is a close friend, and that he values their friendship. He wished that he would have asked Becky Lynch to be in his A&E documentary. "I'd say Becky Lynch is probably my closest friend in WWE, and the one regret I had about my A&E documentary. I just wish I wish I'd said, you need to interview Becky Lynch because it gives a different perspective, a female perspective, and I was somebody who inspired her considering she's the man in WWE. That's a really nice story, so I really like that, you know? I really value all the baby photos she sends me, and she's just a great young lady, so I go with Becky Lynch, best friend, final answer." "There you go," said Mick Foley about Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has, in the past, credited Mick Foley for her pro wrestling journey as she took inspiration from his incredible feats. Foley has spoken about the man's praise of him and humbly stated that he did nothing for her. "It's funny because the bigger she got, the more credit she would give to me. Although I actually did nothing, except I guess inspire her when she was younger," said Mick Foley. Lynch is currently away from WWE following the birth of her baby. Her last appearance for the company was in May last year, but she could be returning soon. Roman Reigns recently discussed former WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi potentially joining the Bloodline. The Universal Champion believes Naomi will thrive if she teams up alongside Reigns, the Usos, and Paul Heyman. Naomi would fit perfectly into the Bloodline as she is part of the Anoa'i family being married to Jimmy. She was reportedly even shifted from Raw to SmackDown last month, so we could see her join the stable soon. Speaking with Joseph Stashevsky of the New York Post, Roman Reigns had the following to say regarding the possibility of Naomi joining his faction. "I do believe if she was put in that position, coupled with all of us surrounding her along with Paul Heyman and the rest of our creative brainstorming system that we have, and how we craft our narratives, I think we could put her in a good position. It's just not something we've had time to come up with a thorough game plan. If we did, I think she's definitely a superstar who could step up and take advantage of it," said Roman Reigns. Naomi will have a lot to offer if she is to join the faction anytime soon. Plus, Naomi could also breathe new life into the Blue Brand's female roster and soon be slotted into the SmackDown Women's title picture. The Bloodline is one of the most dominant groups in wrestling at the moment, with each member of the group holding a title. However, that could change soon. With SummerSlam around the corner, the Bloodline might not be able to hang on to all the gold for much longer. The Usos were able to capture the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships from the Mysterios at Money in the Bank, but it will be interesting to see how the two teams fare in a rematch at WWE SummerSlam. However, the more important feud going on right now is the one between Roman Reigns and John Cena. These are two of the marquee names in wrestling, and their encounter could quite possibly be the biggest wrestling match of the year. With Cena being around for a limited time, it could be expected that Roman Reigns will successfully defend the championship. On the other hand, a win at SummerSlam for Cena would award him a record-breaking 17th World Championship. Do you think John Cena will dethrone Roman Reigns at SummerSlam? Sound off in the comments section below.